All right, welcome to this training step where we're going to go ahead and walk you through a very critical step, which is updating and editing your legal business status and business information so that way it is up to date inside of your business platform. Now, the step that we're about to walk through right now is absolutely critical because in an upcoming training, we're going to go ahead and walk you through how to submit your business application for your business phone number and other important legal business setup in the upcoming training section. So if you do not complete this properly, if you do not go ahead and complete this, very easy. We're going to walk you through it. But if you don't do it, then you're going to go ahead and get messed up in the future. Okay. Now, the reason why we're going to go ahead and do this right now is because probably at this point in the course, at this point in the training, hey, what is your business type? You probably have your business registered. So you have your EIN number, or if you're going to be a sole prop, your SSN number, right? You know all of the other business legal information. And so that's the reason why you're going to go ahead and be able to go ahead and update it inside of your business platform. Now, the reason why you have this is because you probably needed all of that for your business bank account. And so that's the reason why we went ahead and strategically placed this training right over here and why it's going to be important for you to go ahead and do this from this. Okay, so let's go ahead and follow along with us as we do this. It's very straightforward, but again, you want to make sure that you are in fact doing it step by step. So you're going to go ahead and open up ClientKit, and then what you're going to do, which is your business platform, you're going to go over here to settings at the bottom left. And then once you go over to settings, you're then going to go over to business profile. Okay, so it's going to be the very first one. And there's going to be 4 things that we're going to go ahead and do here together. Okay, so the very first one is going to be your business physical address. Then it's going to be your business information. Then it's going to be the authorized representative. And then we're going to go ahead and turn off a feature called missed call text back. Okay, so let's go ahead and do all 4 of those together right now. So first and foremost is going to be your business physical address. It's going to be here right now. And of course, software companies change all their UI all the time. Depending on when you're going through this training, it might look a little bit differently. It might not, but you want to go ahead and update your business physical address. Now, there is a little eye icon for information right over there. It says enter the exact business address as it appears on your EIN listing. Now, a couple notes on this right here. Okay, so this is going to be the information that was on the EIN letter that was registered with the IRS. So you want to make sure that you're entering in the address exactly the same way, with the dots, with the hyphens, with the capitalizations, all of that. Now, if you are a sole prop, then this is just going to be your local home address. Now, even your LLC might be your local home address. It might not be. It depends, right? And so again, it just whatever's on your EIN number for your LLC, if you have an LLC. If not, it's whatever is for your sole prop. Okay, so that is what's going to go ahead and be placed right over here with the business physical address. Next up, after that, and make sure you pause and actually complete that, okay? Next up, we're going to go ahead and fill in the actual business information right over here. Right over here, okay? And so the business information, you're going to have a drop down right over here. And for most of you, you're probably going to go ahead and select limited liability company or sole prop, okay? Then you're going to go ahead and put the business industry. For us, it's probably going to be education. We are not, and a lot of people get this confused, we are not healthcare. Healthcare is like medical, you're prescribing medications, that kind of stuff. We are primarily based around education, health education, business education, all that kind of stuff. You're probably going to be education as well, unless you know what it is that you're doing, and you can kind of look at some of these other options, but education is most likely going to be the best for most of you. Over here, you're then going to go ahead and select what is your EIN type. Now, here's the thing. If you're a sole prop, you still go ahead and select EIN. Obviously, if you're in Canada or Great Britain or something like that, that might be a little bit different. But for most of you, it is going to be EIN if you're in the US. And then what you can go ahead and do is that if you are a sole prop, you're not going to enter in anything right over here. And you're just going to go ahead and select my business is not registered. And so that's only if you're a sole prop, okay? If you're not a sole prop and you have an EIN number and you have an LLC, then you're going to enter in your actual EIN number right over here. Very, very, very important. EIN goes right over there. If you do not have an EIN, then you go ahead and select that box right there, and it's going to go ahead and disappear this EIN box right over here. Next up, after that is then over here, business regions of operation. For most of you, it is going to be US and Canada, and that's probably going to be the only one that you go ahead and select. And then you want to make sure that you do go ahead and hit update information so that way you save everything, okay? Of course, I didn't mention it earlier here as well, but the business physical address, you do want to make sure that you go ahead and hit update there as well. Otherwise, it is not going to save. A lot of times what I like to do is I do like to go ahead and refresh the screen so I can see if in fact did save or not. So it's going to be very important for you to make sure that you are saving all of that information on there, okay? So we've talked about business physical address. We've now talked about the business information. The third place that we're going to go ahead and fill out is going to be the authorized representative. And this is going to be filled out with your personal information. Okay, so right over here, On the right side, you have your authorized representative. The authorized representative means you, right? Primarily the business owner. And so you're going to go and fill in your first name, your last name. It's going to be your personal email address. It's not going to be your business email address. It's going to be your personal email address for yourself. Whatever your job position is, for a lot of you, probably the CEO, or if you know any better, you can pick something else on there as well, okay? And then this is going to be your personal phone number. This is going to be, okay, how can the legalities, right? When you submit your business information, when you submit your business application later on in upcoming trainings, how can those government entities get in contact with you specifically? That's why it's going to be your personal information on there. Beautiful. So we're chugging along here. We went ahead and got 3 out of 4 taken care of. Now this last one, this is actually not business legal information, but this is going to be important that you can go ahead and knock out right now, which is actually turning off missed call text back. Okay. So it's called missed call text back. So if you scroll down, there's going to be an option all the way down here, which says missed call text back. Now, what we're going to go ahead and do is we're actually going to go ahead and turn that off. And then we're going to go ahead and click save. Now, let me go ahead and explain to you what this is so that way you're empowered to know when, if and when you want to actually turn this on. So what is this? This is actually an amazing feature for business, because how many times have you called up a local business and they did not pick up? Probably a lot of times, right? Especially if you're calling a mom and pop store, right? And so what this feature does that we just turned off, this feature actually allows it so that way if you get a missed call on your business phone number and no one picks up, it automatically sends a text message to the person who called asking them what they need help with. Okay, so let me go ahead and turn it back on so you can see what the message they had in here was. Okay, hey, this is NutriFit Wellness. We saw that we missed your call. How can we help, right? And so what this does is it allows you to be able to get those leads, because a lot of times this is going to be a lead who's calling to be able to know like what hours of operation, what do you have, pricing information, and all that kind of stuff. Now, why are we turning this off? The reason why we're turning this off and we're hitting save is because right now you probably do not have the authorized application approved to have business text messaging or even a business phone number inside of your business platform. And so what we're going to do is later on, if you decide that you want to turn this on, if you say, hey, you know what, this is an amazing feature, which quite frankly it is, it's probably going to generate huge amounts of revenue if that is a feature that you end up actually using, well, you can go ahead and turn it on then. And then also obviously later on, if this is something you're like, you know what, I want to have an additional training for that, make sure you go ahead and ask inside of the community, because again, all we really do is just compile based off of the learnings and the mistakes and the pro tips that the community is doing. And so obviously we can go ahead and make those trainings if necessary, or somebody else in the community can help assist with that. But the biggest thing is the reason why we're turning it off for right now is because you probably do not have a business phone number that's registered for text messages yet. So that's why we need to turn that off. So that way, if you do miss any calls, you don't get any text messages that go out. Okay. So the very first 3 that we went ahead and covered, which was the business physical address, business information, and authorized representative, you must make sure that those are in fact active and filled out and updated inside of your business platform. So that way you are legally compliant to be running your business. Very, very important, because we're going to be relying on these when we help you submit some of the other information later on. Now, as you close out this training, I do want to go ahead and kind of make an important note here, because what we just did right now is actually a very good example of why it's so important to be a part of a community that's providing you the system and the strategy, and not just the tool and the software. Because here's the thing, the Client Kit or any other software is just a tool. They're not educating you on the system and the strategy that is needed to actually get a result with the tool, right? It's kind of like if you go to Home Depot and buy a hammer or any tool, well, they're not actually walking you through the step-by-step of how to actually build a house with that tool, right? And so the point of this entire community is to actually teach you the system and the strategy to get a very specific outcome. What is that outcome? To go and help you start and grow a business that is revenue and income generating for you, your family, and your future. And so the thing is that without all of these pro tips, without all of the mistakes that we would have made, right? So even filling this stuff out here, right? Doing this and filling this out here and filling this out over here, these are all as a result of the mistakes that we made. And so we had to say, okay, you know what is the system and the strategy in order to actually get the result? And so this is why we keep on saying that these courses that you are going through right now, these trainings that you are going through right now, are literally only the collection of learnings that are updated every few months based on what it is that the community learns, right? And so that's the reason why being a part of the community, investing in the relationships, having that emergency fund, having your give to ask ratio is so important. So that way, when you actually need the help, you can get the help because you have been giving back to the community over and over and over again, because there is no guru who has all the answers here. And so you want to make sure that you are staying up to date with what is going on in the community, because that is where all the cutting edge of what is working right now is happening, is inside of the community. It's not in these trainings, right? These trainings are just kind of like the basic foundational bare bones of things. And so your future success in business does require for you to be up to date with the community, because that's going to allow you to know, hey, what is working right now in business, so that way I can make sure that I am ahead of the curve and not just actually waiting for things to happen later on and then I end up in trouble. And so I just wanted to go ahead and point out how this specific training that we just went ahead and talked to, right, and literally explaining how to be able to fill this out inside of your business platform simply came because of the system and the strategy, not because of the tool and the software. So I hope that makes sense. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been this training on updating your business legal information. What's next? Guess what? We still got to go ahead and continue building your business. We got a whole bunch of other trainings and other training sections to keep on chugging through. I know this was a small one, but it is such an important one. Make sure that you go ahead and continue down the rest of the trainings. Remember, Vince Lombardi's quote, the difference between a successful person and others is not a lack of strength, a lack of knowledge, but it's a lack of will. And as every single thing that you do is chipping away at that ability to have that future and being able to turn that dream into a reality. So make sure you stay focused, stay driven. You're doing a phenomenal job. Keep that momentum going. Ladies and gentlemen, we will catch you in the next training section.